Recorded in Studio 158, beautiful Huntington, Massachusetts. This is Gateway News Network.
Hello, my name is KCP's Editor-in-Chief of Gateway News Network, and welcome to our broadcast. This week we have Kirsten with a story on the school store and no school dates. Then Adam with an interview with teachers of the trade programs offered at Gateway. And finally, I'll be reporting on the government shutdown and the impacts on our school district in an interview with our superintendent, Dr. Hobson. Thank you, and please enjoy the broadcast.
Finally, Gateway students can relax with a long weekend coming up this October. There will be no school on Monday, October 14th and Tuesday, October 15th. Columbus Day appears on Monday, and staff development is scheduled for Tuesday. Don't forget to take advantage of these extra days and have fun. In other Gateway news, The Swamp, a small school store run by students located at the front of the building near the entrance doors, is now offering healthier snacks. Research shows an increase in food allergies and unhealthy gait weight in children. Due to this information, there are now new wellness policies that Gateway is following. The Swamp will be opening at the end of October. To read about these wellness policies, visit Gateway's website at grsd.org.
Hello, I'm Adam Ragsini, and today I'm joined by Miss Jensen, who teaches biotechnology at Gateway Regional High School. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So, what are some of the things that your program teaches?
It teaches a lot of different skills that a lot of our students can then go on to use later on in their careers. And so we have many students that have come out of the program and are now in the medical field. Some are in research, and the skills that they learn here, I think, prepare them very well for those particular fields.
Okay. What do you think some of the similarities and differences are between woodshop, welding, and biotechnology?
I think a lot of the similarities are that we teach skills. And skill sets are really, really important in today's world. What's different is obviously the materials that we're using. They're using materials like wood and metal, and we're using materials like DNA and RNA and all sorts of different cellular products, proteins, things like that.
That's pretty cool, actually. How do you meet the Common Core state standards for science and technology in your class?
Okay, well, right now, I think the Common Core is sort of in the process of being adopted by the state of Massachusetts. It has been adopted. The math and the English standards are in place, but for science, it's basically the technological aspects of science and physics that's been accepted, but the biological sciences, I don't think there's anything in there. However, PARC is up and coming, and if we look at the PARC standards, we hit just about every single one of them. So if we're looking at cells, structure, and function, if we're looking at genetics, we hit that one. So just about every single one of the standards that are part of PARC, we hit. Even the ecological ones, we have a few skill sets that we pick up when we're starting to look at the environment and how we can monitor water quality and how we can use oil-eating bacteria to clean up oil spills.
That's quite interesting, actually. Is there a specific GPA required for your class?
Not necessarily a GPA, but we do require that students have advanced biology beforehand, and they should have some pretty good math skills. Chemistry is actually important, I believe, because there's a lot of chemistry that's involved. So it's usually a good idea if they take this after they've taken advanced biology and then had, a year of chemistry as well.
Are these classes more hands-on?
Very hands-on. Very hands-on. It's very, very lab-oriented, and it's very technology-oriented in that if students are really interested in some of the technical aspects as far as computers are concerned, we can do bioinformatics, and that's really an exciting field right now.
So, you mentioned bioinformatics, can you describe some of that?
Sure. One of the things that happens in bioinformatics is that if you get a sequence for a genome, For example, something that I work on in the summer when we get sequences on phage genomes. What you can do is you can annotate those, and so you can figure out what part of the genome is the tail fiber, for example, or what part is the head. And you can use a variety of different types of sophisticated software to do that, and students are more than capable of doing that. And it's kind of exciting because if you have gone through all the annotation and it gets QC'd at the University of Pittsburgh, your name goes up as one of the annotators for a phage, and it goes up onto the NCBI website.
Oh, that is
so it's
actually
kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah, that is quite
cool.
interesting.
It's very cool.
I mean, obviously you're talking about it, but like, how much do you think your students enjoy this class along with you?
Well, in the past, when we have run this class, and it hasn't run for a couple of years because it's difficult for scheduling to get some of the students that would like to take it are also taking in a lot of other advanced classes, so it's difficult for them to get it into their schedule. But when we do run it, I think the students that take it have a really good time because it is so hands-on, and I think they see a lot of real-world applications. So and they see, ways that they can use those skill sets later on when they go on to college. Some of the students that have gone on to college have actually majored in biotechnology.
Oh, that's actually...
So it's useful.
Yeah, that is quite useful.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Be sure to catch next week's broadcast for an interview with Mr. Harper, who's the wood cutting teacher at Gateway Regional High School, and the welding teacher, Mr. Atkinson. And now, to Casey.
For the first time in 17 years, the federal government has undergone a partial government shutdown. Last Tuesday, the shutdown started when Republicans and Democrats could not agree on a spending plan for the fiscal year. The two parties debated and became deadlocked over Obama's health care plan, Obamacare. It is still unclear how long the shutdown will last, but some estimate it could be days or even weeks. The last government shutdown in 1995 lasted 21 days and ended in January of 1996. And now here's an interview with Dr. Hobson on what the impacts of the shutdown are in our school district. So, Dr. Hobson, what are some of the impacts that the government shutdown will have on Gateway Regional School District?
In the short term, there's not a whole lot of impact. However, if the government continues to be shut down at the federal level, there's impacts on several grant items from the state and from the federal government. So that includes Title I and Title IID. Title I provides reading service specialists in the district. Title IID provides some of our technology and upgrades for professional development. The other thing that's going to impact, if this drags on for much longer, is the federal government's ability through the U.S. Department of Agriculture to fund or help fund the lunch program and the breakfast program for the school.
And so the last government shutdown, which was 95 and 96, lasted 21 days. Would that be, if this one lasted longer than 21 days, would that start to impact the district, that time frame?
The state has provided us estimates that they have the ability to carry most of those programs through the middle of October. So I think as long as we're looking at the federal government opening back up for business within the next couple of weeks, we'll be in good shape. I think beyond that time frame is when we're going to start seeing reductions in aid payments from the federal government through the state to the school district.
It seems Congress is in a political deadlock between Republicans and Democrats. New polls show Congress has the lowest approval rating ever. Who do you think is to blame? Please post your comments to gnn@students.grsd.org. And now, back to Adam.
In case you haven't heard, a new island was formed off the coast of Pakistan. The island was formed after a 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit Pakistan Tuesday, September 24th. It was then followed by a 6.8 magnitude aftershock. The island is believed to be made about half an hour after the initial quake. The quake was centered about 40 miles north of the city of Awern, which is located 250 miles away from Grenadar. Grenadar is one of the port cities of Pakistan and where the island was formed. Townspeople and scientists who walked on the newly formed island said it was rocky and muddy and emitting flammable methane gas. The quake occurred in an area known as the Marquine Subduction Zone. This zone is where three tectonic plates, the Indian, the Arabian, and the Eurasian plate, all meet. Similar islands formed in an Arabian Sea after a 8.1 magnitude earthquake in 1945. Islands also formed after quakes in 1999 and 2010. Most of these islands are lost to the sea a little while after forming. Thank you for tuning in to this week's broadcast, and make sure to catch next week's.